Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. I can't believe my husband. He's such a jerk to do this to me. I trusted him completely, and then that a hole went ahead and cheated on me. I'm not even sure if what he did can actually be called adultery or not, but I definitely feel like crap right now. I have been considering lately if I've been overreacting and should I just let everything go. That's why I decided to write in this subreddit. I'd like public opinion on how I should approach this situation. Lately, I was missing my husband every night. He was having a busy time at work lately and often came home late. Since I had to get up early to go into work, I'm usually asleep by the time he comes home. And I get up and leave before he could even wake up. We didn't have much time to even talk, much less do anything else. So last Saturday, when we both had a day off, we were finally able to relax. I was making breakfast when my husband came out of the shower. That's when I noticed a new tattoo on his lower front side. It was in a place where you'd miss it unless the person was top naked and had his arms up. It was a weird one with skulls and butterflies and with two letters in the center. I don't know why that made me uneasy, since my husband and we both have always loved tattooing our bodies. I didn't really care about him getting another one, but something about the style of that tattoo with those initials bothered me. When I asked him when he got that particular tattoo, he told me that it was a few days ago when he went drinking with a few of his colleagues. He said that they had just completed a project and was celebrating closing the deal. They got carried away and got wasted. That's when he, in a drunk state, went to get the tattoo. He said even he doesn't know what the initials he got meant. He didn't even like the butterflies and was regretting getting the tattoo and was also thinking of getting it lasered off once it had completely healed. Since I remembered him being hammered a few nights ago, I didn't question his story and went along with it. But something was still bothering me about it, and I tried to talk about it more. But my husband dismissed it every single time. It became so bad that he completely refused to talk about it and said so to my face. He got angry and just left to get some fresh air. On Sunday, I was still thinking about his tattoo and was walking down the street. I was going to just walk around and relax a little, but then I noticed a woman on the street. Usually, I don't notice people walking around and I tend to go about my business. But the woman was wearing a very short crop top, and below it, a tattoo was clearly visible. Now, before you think I'm crazy, I'll stop you. If it was just some skulls and butterflies, I would have let that go. But I could clearly see the same initials that my husband had at the center of her tattoo, too. I approached the woman and casually showed interest in her tattoo. I tried to get her to talk about it. I asked her where she got it, and she told me she got it about a few days ago with her boyfriend. Now, that was very coincidental. I couldn't dismiss the uneasy feeling I had anymore. I had to ask her more about it. I told her that I really liked that too, and what do these initials mean? She said that those initials represent the nickname she and her boyfriend used for each other. She said she was going to get the actual name initials tattooed, but her boyfriend insisted on getting these. I laughed a little and asked her what her boyfriend's name was. The name she gave me was also my husband's name. I was shocked, and yet I saw it coming the moment I asked her about the tattoo. It was like the uneasy feeling I had was coming to reality. But I so desperately wanted to believe that my husband was innocent and that this was all a ridiculous coincidence that I asked the woman if she could confirm something for me. I opened my phone and showed her the picture of me and my husband and asked her if she recognized him. Even before she could say anything, her face revealed the truth. I started crying and asked her if she could please verbally confirm their exact relationship. She told me that she met the guy through a project from her work and they were both interested in each other. She started dating him about a month ago. I asked her how far they had gone in their relationship. She looked at me with pity and said that they haven't crossed any lines other than kiss a little. I didn't know if I should feel a little relieved or angry at what happened. I thanked her for telling me the truth and left. When I came into the house, my husband was in the living room working on his laptop. I couldn't even look at him in the eye and just locked myself into my room. That evening, I packed a few essentials and just left the house without saying anything to him. Since then, my husband has been trying to contact me a lot, but all I've done is send him a text saying I'm staying with a friend for a while and I need some space from him. I don't know how to approach the subject. I'm completely heartbroken and still cannot believe the man I loved would cheat on me. Is it okay for me to just leave and not hear his side of the story? Should I let him explain or just ask for a divorce? I have given my situation a lot of thought and I think I'll go to my husband's place. I have decided that it was high time for me to get an upfront explanation. Even my friend told me to just talk to him and ask him what was actually going on because there's no way I was going to be satisfied with just leaving him. I'll always have regrets if I don't ask him all the things I'm curious about, and I agree with her. Although I'm certain that he did cheat on me, there are a lot of questions in my mind. He said he got the tattoo after he got drunk with his colleagues the day he finished the project. The woman said she met the guy while they were working on a project together for their respective companies. There's a possibility that she flirted with my husband first and he went along with it so that his refusal doesn't compromise the deal they had at work. Or it's entirely possible that I'm making excuses for him right now. Either way, I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt and get his story straight from him. I'm going to go home on Saturday and I'll update here once things progress. I don't know what I was thinking when I made so many excuses in my head for my husband and his behavior. I think all I wanted was to desperately believe that I can't be one of those women who get cheated on by their husband. Last night, I came home and confronted him about everything that had happened. I told him I found this woman who had the same tattoo as him, and we got to talking because for some reason I couldn't get the thought of his new tattoo out of my head. I told him how I showed his picture to this woman, and she told me that it was her boyfriend she met during a work project. Consider my shock and my madness at finding such a big thing in such a ridiculous manner. I asked him if I left to stay with my friend because I was desperately trying to erase everything that happened, and if I could just not see his face, I won't have to confront the truth. He was silent for so long that I thought I'd go mad just by staring at his face. I knew he wasn't going to deny anything. I knew my marriage was over, even before any sound came out of his mouth. But even then, I waited to hear from him. And once he managed to speak, he just confirmed my worst truth. He told me that it was just an affair he wasn't going to continue with. It started because it was beneficial to be in a client's good graces, but the more time he spent with her, the more he fell for her. He did try to end it, but for some reason he couldn't just be upfront. He started apologizing for hurting me, and he said he was sorry I had to find out this way. He said he will end everything now that I know and we can work on our relationship. He said no matter what, he still wants to be my husband, and he begged for another chance. But I already knew that can't happen. The trust I had in this relationship is already gone. The respect I had for my husband just turned into embarrassment, and I knew I can't be with a man who I'm embarrassed of. I was raised as a strong woman, and I never go easy on people who try to beat me down. Then, why in the world will I make an exception for such a pathetic man who couldn't even control his feelings? I backed away from him. I told him that I'll be leaving for a good while now. I told him right there that our relationship is over and he'll soon be getting a lawsuit and divorce papers. At this point, we were both crying. Just because I don't want anything to do with my husband anymore, it doesn't mean that all our history together has been erased. I still love the man I married, and the loss of that person was so sorrowful that tears couldn't stop flowing from my eyes. My husband just hugged my legs and was begging me to not go and talk to him about it, but I couldn't even bring myself to let him touch me anymore. I pried him off me and I left the house. I came to the friend I was staying with and told her what happened. She had told me that I could stay at her place for as long as I need, and I don't have to worry about it. I was going to contact the lawyer this week and file for divorce. I took a few days off of work because right now I just want to mourn the loss of my marriage and the man I fell in love with. NTA, you're not the a hole here. The man who cheated on you is the one responsible for everything. I don't know why a man would get in an affair just for a project. That was such a pathetic excuse. He does not deserve your forgiveness. NTA, the coincidence of finding that woman out on the street still sounds like such an unconvincing lie. But I can't help thinking how much worse you must be feeling after finding out the truth in such a ridiculous manner. To think your relationship could end in a second just like that makes me not believe in humanity anymore. My wife, 35 female, and I, 35 male, we have been together for 7 years and married for 5. My wife is the primary bread earner in our house. We also have a 4-year-old daughter together who is more attached to me, an important part of our situation. My wife works at her dad's company and is usually gone to attend to all the business work and is only at home maximum 2 weeks a month. I am not much of a fan of it, but still support her career. As a result of her frequent absence, my daughter and I have formed a special bond with each other. A few months ago, my daughter made a drawing with just her and me, and I ended up putting it on my social media. When I put it on my social media, my wife was out of state, and when she saw it, she wasn't happy at all and called me and shouted at me, saying that I should have asked her to draw her too in it. I straight away told her she was overreacting and that please don't spoil the mood. She continues to bring it every few days. Well, yesterday in the morning, I told her to let's take our daughter to the mall, but she straight away said no, as she would be very tired because she had to go later at night to the airport and didn't want to travel anywhere right now. She had to leave post midnight. She could have rested when we would have returned. I told her I'd take her alone and she could rest. While we were talking, she said that she works her ass off and I live at her house and will be bonding with her daughter, and that it is very unfair that I get to make more memories with our daughter while spending her hard earned money. I left the house because she views me as someone who is with her for a house or her money. I don't make nearly as much as she does, but I still make enough. She makes around $300,000 and I make $105,000, which I don't think is a bad amount. But she still sees me as someone only interested in money. After she said that, I left and said it was her house, and as I am not welcome, I left and went to my parents' house. Now she is calling me, saying I'm being an a-hole. I'm overreacting, and she's telling me to come back. AITA for leaving my wife's house when she told me she owns it and not me? Look, she made choices. This is the career path she wanted. Her relationship with your daughter is what she chose to make it. So that part of it, you're NTA. But this money business? Okay, does she normally make power plays like this? Granted, she's pulling in some serious green, but you're not doing badly either. Why this play for dominance? And why are you living in daddy's house when you're both making enough to buy a home of your own? Something is seriously wrong between the two of you, and I think your father in law has something to do with it. Do not leave your child in the middle of this. This will make her life hell, and both of you need to get out of daddy's house and into one of your own, far away from these power plays, which will destroy your family. Your NTA. NTA, right now she is upset that you're making the memories and she is being forgotten, literally. Your daughter made a drawing that mommy isn't in, and the day you left and left your daughter there, mommy dropped her off at her parents' house and went to work. It's a sad situation that she has created for herself, but she needs to understand that it isn't your fault and she has no right taking it out on you. As for the house, you pointed out that she doesn't own the house either, and maybe she needs to be reminded of that, that you both live in her father's house for free. You'll need counseling. Talk with her, and maybe she can pencil her family into her schedule for some counseling. I'm 24, female, 7 months pregnant with my best friend's, Hope, 23, female, baby. She couldn't carry, and since I have a 3-year-old, I offered to be a surrogate for her and her husband, Mark. 2 months ago, Hope and Mark were killed in a car accident caused by a drunk driver. I was hurt, and I decided to adopt the baby after they are born. Mark and Hope's family were okay with it since they both can't take care of the baby. I promised them that they can be at all events and be in their life. I also plan to do a photo shoot of the baby with Hope and Mark, Ghost Photography. My family planned a baby shower so I can get items. I invited the actual grandparents, and I was so excited to tell them the gender of their grandbaby. Have them experience a baby shower for their grandbaby. When the baby shower came, Hope's mom helped decorate and make food. She told me how excited she was to be a grandma. She talked about how wonderful Hope would be as a mom, and we talked about baby's future. My cousin overheard and told Hope's mom that once baby is adopted, that my parents would be legally the baby's grandparents. She went on how Hope is dead and we'll never know how Hope and Mark would be as parents because they're dead. Hope's mom started to cry, and I yelled at my cousin and kicked her out. I called her a bitch and told her to leave. She grabbed my aunt and left. After 2 weeks, she got her family involved, and my phone blew up, telling me to apologize because she was telling the truth. I refused, and now my mom's sister won't talk to her. My grandma told me and my cousin that we're causing a huge rift in the family. But am I the a-hole? Yes, this is legal. Hope and Mark were both only child in their family. They made plans in case something happens to them. I was put down as the next person to raise the baby. Social workers came to my home and made sure that my husband and I were stable. Not only financially stable, mentally stable. I was checked already before the journey. And if my home is safe. I was approved to adopt a baby. My husband and I went through everything to make sure that baby would be in our care. NTA, why are people cruel when kindness cost them nothing? This was a moment of joy for a grieving mother. Your cousin needed to be put in check. The statements were hurtful and uncalled for. Best to you. Continue to nurture good as you bring forth new life. NTA, I don't know how any family members could really side with someone who said such a cruel thing to a grieving mother and think that's acceptable. To me, that is something that is completely inexcusable and sounds like she said it specifically to be cruel and hurtful for whatever reason. Hope's mother is grieving the loss of her daughter and her sister in law, but that loss has been lessened a bit by knowing that a part of them will live on with the birth of their child to a person who was so close to them and generous to be a surrogate. To insinuate that she won't be a legal grandmother has to feel like another loss in potentially not being able to be close to her grandchild and open up a whole other flood of sadness. Then to add insult to injury by insinuating that no one would know if they would have been good parents? Does the cousin have some kind of grudge? That should have been a line that was never crossed. And I am so sorry your family is even entertaining the idea that somehow you're responsible for fighting in the family after that kind of fallout. People have cut off family for saying much less. I am really sorry you're going through this, and I hope that you stay close with Hope's mother and maybe remove some doubt by reiterating that she will still be grandma. You are bonded now for life with Hope's mother, both in the joy of the baby, but also the pain of both your losses. You have no blame here, and you did nothing wrong. As for your cousin, I do hope that she either has a wake-up call about her appalling behavior, or that your family realizes how out of line she was and they distance